Lost in the day, floating further away from the anchors that weigh me down. Familiar faces filled with dismay, 'cause the sun rises when it wants. But know your time will come, and there's no use in going on. Keep your eyes on the horizon, and together we will run. Gone are the days where the colors that fade and the rain stay for far too long. Like trees in the garden, we'll hold fast without parting, 'cause we got everything we want. I know your time will come, and there's no use in going alone. Keep your eyes on the horizon, and together we will run. Keep your eyes on the horizon, and together we will run.
So I started with a cup of coconut oil, and I just put the coconut oil that is firm, I put it in the microwave and I melted it, and I poured it into my bowl already. And then I add 6 cups of rolled oats, not instant oats, but actually rolled oats, old-fashioned oats. And I used, I'll use either Quaker oats, those are great, but sometimes you can't find them. And then also, the stores sometimes are run out of it. But I also had some organic rolled oats from Azure in the cabinet, so I just pulled some of those out because I didn't have enough to make 6 cups. And so you just add that to your coconut oil. And then I put the honey into the same cup that I melt the coconut oil in, because that makes the honey come out really nice and smooth. So I'll just pour that in, and I put about 3/4 of a cup of honey in with the mixture. You can adjust if you're trying to watch your sugar and you want to put in less, you can put in less, or you can put in more if you like it a little bit sweeter. I found that 3/4 is the best for us, but you know, this is a recipe, and I'll post it in the description for this video, but this is a recipe that you can kind of make your own. You don't have to follow it to the T. In fact, typically I just kind of add things to our liking, and I don't always measure. I'm going to measure today just for this video, and again, I'll put the amounts in the description. Then I put a little bit of salt. I use Redmond salt. That's the only salt that we use, and you can find that at redmond.com. And I'll put a teaspoon of salt in. sprinkle that into the bowl. And I'll put 2 teaspoons of vanilla. Also add that to the bowl. And I'll put about maybe 2 teaspoons of cinnamon. Actually, I'll just do like 1.5 teaspoons. And then I have a mixture of different things that I like to add. I chopped up some walnuts and pecans. I had those left over. This is about 1/2 cup, but you know, I chopped up like a whole bag. So whatever, you know, like a handful. Like I said, I measured everything out for this recipe just for you to be able to see, you know, what I was doing and how much. But even if you just want to use your hand as a measurement, that works just fine. I put pumpkin seeds in. These are raw organic pumpkin seeds, and I just, like I said, just put a handful of those in. I put a handful of super seeds. This is chia, flaxseed, and hulled hemp seeds. These are, you know, just kind of really healthy for us. Put like a healthy twist on your granola. Those are all really good for you. And then I put in a handful, maybe a little more than a handful of cranberries, raisins, dried cranberries. I'll actually add like 2 handfuls to this because we like those. And then I'll grab a little bit of my husband's stash of his pistachios. I always get him these shelled pistachios, and I'll put a handful of those in. I don't put chocolate chips, I don't put candy, I don't put any sugar. This is meant to be a healthy alternative to those types of things. So I don't add any of that to my granola. I want it to be tasty and have natural sweetness in it, but not be unhealthy for us, you know, not a dessert. So then I'll go ahead and I'll stir this up. I have a prepared cookie sheet with parchment paper, and I have the oven going 350. And I'll put this in the oven at 350 for about a half an hour. I'll stir it in between, and then afterwards I'll let it sit and harden up. We like ours chunky, so I'll let it harden up, and then I'll break it up into chunks, and we'll have some nice fresh granola. We're going this weekend, we're going with all of our kids. Well, not all of our kids, but our 2 sons and their kids and my son's girlfriend. We're all going to Waldemere, which is in Erie, Pennsylvania, and it's kind of an amusement park / water park. And so we're going on Sunday or Saturday to just go and enjoy a day together in the park and ride rides and have fun, make memories. You know, here in northeastern Ohio, our summers are so short and our calendar gets so busy over the summer because we're trying to like pack in everything into like 3 months. So we stay very, very busy. We belong to a local foodie group, and once a month, the third Wednesday of the month, we meet with our foodie group members, anybody that can make it, and we go out to a local restaurant. We try to always make sure that we're not going to franchises. We go to like locally owned businesses, and we try to take a nice crowd of people and patronize that business and have a nice dinner together. And that's our once a month outing with our foodies. Tomorrow we are going to a restaurant with our foodie group called Silvestro's, and it's in Painesville, Ohio. And it used to be like an old bar, hotel, boarding house for the men who came into Painesville to the docks. They would, come in, get something to eat, have some drinks. There was probably a lot of shenanigans that would go on at Silvestro's. It's definitely a really cool historical site, and we'll be going out there tomorrow to have a nice dinner. They have really good food. It's been family owned for many years, and it's not fancy, but they have really great foods. Anyway, got this all on our cookie sheet. It's all evenly spread. I put parchment down so it doesn't stick, and we'll go ahead and stick it in a 350 oven, and it'll be in there for 30 minutes. And then when it comes out and cools later on, I'll show you how I break it up and separate it out into bags. So thanks for hanging out with us, and we'll be back soon.
Lost in the day, floating further away from the anchors that weigh me down. Familiar faces filled with dismay, 'cause the sunrise